I'm just tired of today's action-adventure boring flicks. Don't get me wrong, today's films are visually appealing, but I don't know why, as a millennial myself, I feel there is a certain charm to those late 90s to early 2000 films. Whether it may be Jumanji, Jurassic Park or Zathura, I always go back to those films, like your one friend who always go back to their exes.
You know what I want for us?
There's someone else.
Bitch!
So today we are talking about The Mummy Returns. The series has spawned two sequels, a spin-off starring The Rock, and a cartoon series. And before going any further, if you haven't watched the video on my first film, what are you waiting for? Go watch that first and then come back to this video. So the premise starts off with a cult who wants to resurrect Imhotep. The cult was able to excavate Imhotep's body with the help of Anck-Samun. Anck-Samun?
Nope.
Anck-Samun.
You had.
She is reincarnated into the modern times. His main task is to defeat the Scorpion King and take back his army to rule the world. But there is a slight problem in that. To fight the Scorpion King, they have to find the Scorpion Bracelet, which will lead them to him. And the Scorpion Bracelet is with our beloved couple, who somehow managed to escape from drowning. And they have a kid now. Wow. I think Rick didn't want to wait too long to plant his seeds.
I am disgusted.
Anyway, they are in London now, and also the cult followed them here to get the bracelet. The cult manages to kidnap Evelyn while Jonathan and Rick are fighting for their life. And Jonathan has a staff now, which will come in handy in the future, so remember that. In this commotion, they also met Ardeth. Is that how you pronounce him?
Nope.
Who teamed up with Rick to rescue Eve. She was taken to a British museum to get sacrificed. What? With the help of Tommy Gunn and the conveniently placed explosive, they were able to rescue Eve. And now comes my favorite chase scene of the movie, when Jonathan brought a whole double-decker bus after he broke Rick's key. And in this chase, we get to see our old mummies back, who can run on walls now. Our heroes were able to escape the rock-hard mummies with some shotguns and luck. And when everything seems to be settled down, that's when Alex got kidnapped. He has the bracelet on his arm and only he can lead Imhotep to Scorpion King. And thus our adventure begins. Rick got his old buddy to fly them to their destination after some convincing, and on the other hand, the mummy is getting his body back after devouring some thugs. They should have kept this version of him just for the creep factor. But I understand Imhotep. I also don't wanna hit that thing in my creepy form. Returning back to our heroes, we found that Eve was having some bad dreams of her past life, where she is the daughter of Pharaoh, who was killed by Imhotep and Anck-Samun. And Rick belongs to the same club as Ardeth because of some tattoo on his hand, which we hadn't seen in the previous film. Pretty convenient, I would say. Our little guy is leaving the breadcrumbs for his parents so that they can find him. But the plan didn't last much longer. Imhotep sent a tsunami with his face, like the last time with the sand, to devour the blip. They somehow managed to walk out alive, which led them into the jungle in the middle of the desert. And in the center, it lies the pyramid where the Scorpion King is resting. Ardeth sent a hawk to his group to notify them of their location, but he got shot down by this guy. Ardeth was ready to go to his group alone, but Rick asked him,
I need you to help me find my son.
I'm so glad that they gave him screen time with the main group this time. The cult also reached the forest and now it's time to get rid of the boy. But Rick is not like other father who goes out for the milk and never comes back. He saved his child from the red bandits and reunited with the group. But now they are chased by the forest goblins. I like the fact that they have different types of enemies like video games. Anyway, after escaping the creepy goblins, Alex told his father that they have to get to the pyramid before the sunrise. If not,
I'm going to die! Help me!
Watching that scene with Rick running fast as he can so that he can save his child, I knew that they were not going to kill Alex. But I wasn't ready for what to come next. I was heartbroken when I first saw this scene. Rick was crying his heart out and Jonathan was consoling Alex. And Eve asked Rick,
Take care of Alex.
It was way too much for me. Rick locked in to wipe Imhotep for once and for all. He met the cult leader who now has the Scorpion Bracelet and put his hand in the wrong hole. Soon he finds out when you don't use the lube.
What do you mean by that?
Oh my god. This was very sickening for me when I was a child. But in doing so, he awakened the one and only, the Scorpion King.
Hell no, man. What the
The CGI certainly didn't hold. It looks more like a PS2 graphics. Anyway, during Rick and Imhotep commotion, he was thrown to a wall which gave a 101 instruction on how to kill Scorpion King. In meantime, Alex remembers the Book of the Dead, which can bring a dead to life. So he started chanting the mantra from the book. While Jonathan fought Anakna Masun, Eve was back from the dead, and I think the reincarnated princess also came back with her. And the showdown of Anakna Masun and Nefertiti. The fight between Anakna Masun and the princess took place. Rick is fighting for his life and asks Jonathan for the staff.
Remember when I told you that it will come handy?
This is the only staff that can kill Scorpion King with the hands of Magi, which Rick happened to be. After to and fro between the bald one and the Tarzan, Rick was able to stab the rock and he went down to hell. I don't know why, but this scene was so funny to me. Rick and Imhotep was dangling for their life, and in this scenario, we are choosing the right girl save Rick's life. As for Imhotep, he was heartbroken by the betrayal that he had to let go, and that cheating was for the street.
Incredible.
So the finale was a bit like Jumanji, where everything was swallowed into the pyramid. Just when he thought that this is the end for them, Izzy came up with a clutch and saved the day.
I'm literally so envy of Izzy right now.
Our heroes were saved, escaped with a big bright diamond, and I hope this is where they stop the franchise. But the third one happened. I really love both of these movies. Despite some questionable CGI, it always brings a smile to my face when I rewatch it. It is a solid film with solid cast, but I hope they establish some of the things in the first film, like Rick's connection to Magi, Eva's connection to Pharaoh, and Jonathan's staff could be shown in the end of the first film with the treasure. But I get it, they were not expecting to get a sequel, but after the first one was a box office hit, it paved the way for the sequels. I like the inclusion of Alex in this one. It dropped the plot. He was a very smart kid who shows how he can be useful.
He needs some.
Overall, a good comedy action flick that I can watch to this day. And if you like action adventure with some comedy, you should definitely check out this series. This has become one of my favorites. Let me know if you guys also like the Mummy franchise, and comment down below which movie should I cover next. And until then, I will meet you in the next one.